Call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. We'll start off with our roll call vote. Or, I'm sorry, roll call. We're not voting yet, just who's here.
Is absent tonight. Tammy Hines. Here. Andrea Corey. Here. Craig Meyer.
Here.
Scott Middlecamp.
Here.
Lisa Schumacher. Here. Tyson Search.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you. If you join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. I'd like to welcome our visitors here this evening. Thank you for joining us on such a rainy, nasty evening out there. And also everyone at home tuning in on YouTube channel. So thank you for your participation. Do we have any public comments this evening? All right. Come on up if you would, just state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
If we were all 10-year-olds, I'd be able to talk without the script. Amber Haven. A culture has been formed between board and staff that's created divides. It's promoted the terms us and them rather than we. However, as we move forward, and my hope is that it can be a collaborative effort, we hope to leave the past behind us. Teachers don't want to be divided, and we don't feel like the board would like that either. Last night at the retirement party at Sunset Overlook, some of us observed that the board members present spoke to very few of the teachers and staff in attendance. Instead, members of the board stood in a huddle and spoke among themselves. Staff members did not approach the board members to talk either. The separation and divide between board and staff was evident. Teachers love to welcome people into our community and tell them that this is the best district around, that they should move here and live here for the schools. When looking for a house, we would love to say, use Tammy Mitchell-Hines, she's on the school board, she's got our backs. Or if you're looking for a great venue or need a limo, check out Sugar Springs or All About You. Use Corey Pharmacy, great people, right? Need insurance, check out Searches, awesome family. Feeling connected to and supported by all of you guys would be a wonderful collaboration on both ends. Everyone in this room knows what happened to Mr. Ackerman wasn't transparent, and it didn't feel right. But the teachers still haven't given up on building a relationship with the board. We are here for it. We want your collaboration, but we want to make sure that the members of the board practice the values we instill in our kids and expect in our community. A couple of months ago, when I sat alongside all of you at this table and spoke with Mrs. Hewells about the good things happening at the middle school, it felt as though it was the first time you'd heard most or all of these positive things. The community needs you to show interest in the people teaching their children, to show support when making decisions that affect their kids, to know what's happening within the school walls. I've brainstormed some ideas that could help mend the divide. Take a day off from your own job and invest a small amount of time to come into our schools. Stand in the halls between passing periods, come on in for lunch duty, get your substitute license, and choose one of our schools to sub for the day. Get to know us. You have the opportunity to make small positive changes that will trickle down and show big support to the teachers. You can redirect complaints in the grocery store by stating, I hear you and I can help you, but can you please email the board so we can discuss and follow proper procedures to resolve this? You can speak with the teachers, speak with the building administration, and get to the root of a situation before making a decision that negatively and directly impacts a human life. Doing one, some, or all of these things could help bring our community back together. A select few shouldn't be the only ones heard from the community. Every resident of Columbia and every parent of a CUSD4 student has an equal and as important voice as their neighbor. I stand here asking you to acknowledge what has divided some of us and to use your positions and actions to bring us back together. Thanks.
Thank you, Amber. Any other comments? All right, here you go. I believe correspondence is making its way around. Which brings us on to the consent agenda. Mr. Gray, if you'd like to walk us through that, please.
Yeah, you've got your finances is part of the reports. I want to just call out that Julie has been very diligent in trying to make sure everything gets as we finish this budget, we're going to talk about the budget hearing as we get the actual budget presented to you next month, or presented today and then approved hopefully next month. I think we've got everything paid for except for payroll. And so there'll be some little things coming in, but what the budget you'll see tonight will be almost accurate, except for we still have 2 more payrolls that'll need to be added on when we approve it next month. So it's a monumental task, and I want to thank her for that. As far as the personnel and things, we've got a Mr. John Heeg in the audience. He's going to be the new math for 7th grade. Welcome. We look forward to having you part of our family.
And I believe Columbia roots, and you graduated from Columbia? Is that right? Oh, fantastic.
2012 always makes me feel old. I start hearing when they graduate, but that's okay. We have a few vacancies still listing. Our focus right now has been for staffing for next year. We'll talk more about CTE. We are starting to get some emails and people commenting as we've said more and more that we've got our 2 CTE people have now resigned. And so if we don't find people for this program, we can't staff the program. You can get people that are in the workforce, get a provisional certificate, and those are where we're kind of hitting the bushes, and we've gotten some phone calls. And so I'm always optimistic, but I just want you to be aware that that's a hard to fill position, and we are trying very, very hard to find someone of quality for that. We are also having issues with a sign language interpreter. It's another hard to fill position. It's kind of like I'm reliving the nurse situation where our contract wasn't high enough as far as their hourly rate. Seems like sign language interpreters can make more money doing their interpreting versus working in the school. And so we're probably going to have to go to a purchase service for that. We've interviewed a couple of people, and it's just our price point isn't there. So next year when we do the negotiations, that's something that we'll need to discuss. And we are still looking for a guidance person or a social worker at the elementaries, at the Eagleview buildings. But those are the 3 positions that we're still trying to fill. I think everything else is staffed. So without further ado, the administration would recommend that you approve the consent agenda as presented.
Questions, discussions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make them. Go ahead, Tyson.
All right, Tyson made the motion.
I'll second.
Tammy second. Roll call, please.
Adam Humpkin is absent. Tammy Hines?
Yes.
Andrea Corey?
Yes.
Craig Meyer?
Yes.
Scott Middlecamp?
Aye.
Lisa Schumacher?
Yes.
Tyson Search?
Yes.
Perfect. Unanimous. Motion passes. Item 7 is our communications reports and presentations. Start off with the enrollment report, which I believe is in the packet.
Yeah. I think
It is what it
we
is.
changed one person.
Yeah.
Perfect. And now our administrative reports. Start with our building report from Parkview. Excuse me. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm just going to go through some positive things happening at Parkview here. We've had, in April, students participated in a week-long coin war between grade levels, just try to put a little competition into it. Students were to bring in spare change, and we weren't really sure what to expect, but students donate over $2,130 worth of coins in 1 week. So we were blown away by that. We ended up donating the money to help the shelter animals at Helping Strays, and the donations will help care for and find homes for animals at the shelter. Also, we finally finished up our fundraiser rewards. We had students that sold 4 boxes or more of chocolate. This has been going on all year. They got their limo ride and lunch, so we had 91 students that sold 4 boxes or more at Parkview and 40 at Eagleview. So in one day, we had 131 students riding a limo and getting pizza for lunch. So they took a little tour around Columbia and then stopped off at the city park. And
130 some students in one limo.
yeah,
Must
it
be
was
a
a
record.
stretch Hummer, and we could fit 20 at a time. We had Miss King was riding the whole time with the kids and just busting them back and forth. So it was a success, and I really enjoyed it. So Today we finished up the Wax Museum. Fourth graders researched a famous person in history, memorized a speech with important facts, and dressed as their historical person. Parents and students were able to visit the Wax Museum and click the button to hear the wax character come alive. So if you've ever been to the Wax Museum, it's a pretty cool experience, and the kids really love it. And it's pretty amazing to see all of the students be able to stand up and speak in front of adults, people they don't know, and all the students. It's really a cool thing to see.
My memory popped up of my 21-year-old doing the Wax Museum today on Facebook.
Yeah,
It was
that's
it was
cool.
awesome.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second grade students finished their Ames Web benchmark testing, I think last week. Just talking to a few teachers, it sounds like we had some big gains this year from the start of the year to the end. So that's what you're excited about seeing, is just seeing those students improve throughout the year. Third and fourth grade students finished up their MAP benchmark testing also, and all those results are going to be sent home to parents tomorrow. Mrs. Volmer's students have been taking orders from staff for coffee and muffins. So they have the coffee crew, is what they're calling it. The coffee crew provides students with opportunities for life skills. Life skills are best learned by doing. The program provides students with the opportunities for personal growth, social skills, functional academics, and so much more. Some recent skills they have implemented include counting mixed amounts of coins, following multi-step directions, communication skills, taking turns, and safety, cleanliness in the kitchen. This has been a big hit with Parkview staff as they look forward to the weekly deliveries of coffee and muffins. I'm one of those people, so it's pretty cool. You get to fill out your the menu. They come pick it up, and then usually on Fridays they make their way around to make all their deliveries, and you pay them, and they take it back and count it, and it's kind of lifted everybody's spirits around school. It's really a cool thing to see. Some negative news, field day. With all the rain we got today, we're going to cancel field day tomorrow. Now we're going to reschedule for Monday next week. So I'll be sending an email out to parents here once the board meeting gets over with and give them that news. Also, one more thing, Deer Day next Wednesday. Third graders are going to participate in Deer Day, which is drop everything and read. Students will have one special person visit and share with them their love for reading. With nice weather, the hope is students are going to be able to go outside and read with their special person.
All right, I'm going to veer away from Parkview for just a minute and talk some CEA stuff with you. CEA has a new executive board that took over on May 1st. It's a nice mixture of veteran CEA leaders and who know the ropes, and some new voices in there to be heard. I think they're going to lead CEA into great things in the future, and I personally cannot wait to see kind of what they accomplish. We also worked on some new bylaws. It turns out our bylaws have not been overhauled in quite some time. So we've always tweaked language here and there, but a complete overhaul has long been overdue. So new practices of electronic voting and virtual meetings, it was time. So very proud of Carly Otwell, Tammy Fulte, myself, who kind of took those bylaws and brought them into the 2020s. The other thing is mentor teachers. Currently, CUSD4 teachers who mentor new teachers do not receive any compensation. However, mentoring a new teacher is kind of a huge responsibility. It's very time consuming. And it's that mentor's teacher job to be sure that the teacher has success, and this weighs heavily on that mentor teacher's shoulders. As a profession, we don't like to fail. We don't like to be told that we didn't accomplish the task. So being a mentor teacher carries that same need to succeed. During the past legislative session, our legislators passed a budget that consisted of several increases, one of which increased the educator mentoring amount to $7.5 million. Since our mentor teachers currently do not receive any compensation, and with the budget increase earmarked some dollars for them, I wanted to possibly suggest and remind you that the board can add stipend positions to our contract. That's not in the negotiation window. And the one thing that will have to be negotiated would be the compensation part. But as negotiation chairperson for this current contract, I can tell you I can get my team together this summer and we could discuss stipending, adding a stipend for mentor teachers so that this program could be in place for the fall.
Thank you. Perfect. And our assistant superintendent report.
Sure. So I'm going to jump on a couple of things that Carla and Mr. Dugan talked about. So our end of year benchmark testing, I have seen some preliminary results, some different graphs that have been going around. I'm working on kind of compiling it all together. We have a few students in a couple of buildings that are still finishing up taking those assessments. But I am blown away by the amount of growth that our students have done over this year. I think when you see, and I'll have that information for you at the next meeting, but to see the growth that our students made from the start of this year till now is unbelievable. And I think that is directly related to, one, our students being excited to be back in school. We're not in hybrid. We're not on remote learning. They're back in school where they love to be and they thrive. And they've put in the work. But it also is the dedication of our teachers, because there was a lot of gaps that were there when our students went through this pandemic. And so they have worked exceptionally hard to get those up. So I am very excited to have that data and do a lot of celebrating of the teachers, but also with the teachers at the start of next year, and then to continue to see that growth of what we can get. Another thing, like Carla had mentioned about the new teacher, so I'm looking forward to spending the summer revamping our new teacher mentor program. I came in the start of this last year and was given the information and being brand new, and the new mentor meeting was happening 3 weeks after I started in the position. I kind of just went with what we had. But I have been fortunate enough to be part of a consortium at the state level for the state of Illinois that is working with new teachers. And so we have developed quite a bit of programming for those teachers, utilizing being able to collaborate through online meetings and different things, and having on-demand meetings, but also in person in different kind of cohorts throughout the state. So I'm really excited to roll that into part of our program. Like Mr. Grody pointed out earlier with the CTE, we've been spending a lot of time. This is a program that has continued to build. Our students from the program went and competed at Skills USA and placed first, and are now going to Atlanta to compete at the national level. And that speaks again to our students' dedication, but also our program. And so that is something that we are passionate about doing. We have, done the traditional, when you have job posting or job openings, you post the positions, right? Didn't get a whole lot. We were all getting nervous. So we've been reaching out to community colleges around looking for people, been reaching out to members of the Chamber of Commerce that have businesses in the trades that might have people that are recently retired or looking to retire that might be interested. So that is something that we're passionate about trying to do. And I will say that the staff has joined on board trying to get those positions filled. We've had several teachers contact us asking for more information about how can we get this out? Does this look right? Can we get this posted? I'll say Amber's one of them that's been really pushing and trying to help us get that out there. And that's, again, what it takes is a collaborative effort by the community to be able to continue to support that. So looking forward to that. I kind of wanted to highlight this month our Girls on the Run program. Parkview and middle school both had a Girls on the Run program that has been running this spring. And the girls meet twice a week. They do a lot of learning about themselves, about empowering themselves, making positive choices. It's a phenomenal program. And then they also get the exercise in there. They train for a 5K. And the 5K was just held this last Saturday in Forest Park. It was phenomenal to be a part of it, to see the excitement. Even the girls who in practice were like, oh, we got to run today. And we saw all kinds of things. We're so excited once they got to that race and do it. And again, that's another program that's not possible without our staff and our teachers that give up their time to do those programs. And so I was fortunate enough that middle school adopted me this year and let me join that with them and get to see it firsthand with them. So I appreciate that. And then the last thing I just want to point out was I think, I don't know if everyone knows, but on Sunday night this week, Scott Horner and Scott Germain are being inducted into the St. Louis Metropolitan Football Coaches Hall of Fame. And so they are being recognized at a banquet this Sunday night. And it's a, kind of a huge accomplishment for them and also a nod to the program and getting Columbia's name out there. So I just wanted to congratulate both of those gentlemen on this honor that they're getting. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you very much. All right, on to the big dog report.
I don't know about the big dog, but I've got a good news this morning. We got an email from the Regional Office of Education stating that the SHIELD testers are saying we need to return all of our supplies and materials for the SHIELD testing. That was the program that allowed us to collect spit and check for COVID. In my mind, that is the last nail in the coffin of COVID, because the state's basically saying that next year we're going to start the school year without having to be tested or anything. So I'm thrilled about that. This is my end of my second year here in Columbia. And in many ways, it feels like it was my first year. I went down and I walked around, and it took me a while before I realized that the sheet of paper that had their name on it, the little red dot I needed to push to get the kid to talk to me. But I did that at the Wax Museum, and I am incredibly impressed with what they were able to do. And so it's neat to be able to see those things. And although I've been here 2 years, we're just getting back into a lot of that stuff, and so it's good. We are gearing up and starting to make reservations for the joint annual convention. That is the weekend before Thanksgiving for board members. It's in Chicago. It is probably the best PD for you all. With that said, I am also looking at the school board governance recognition. It's an application that you need to do, and what I'd like to do is work with the board president. I haven't talked to you yet about this, but I'm throwing it out there so that we'll both be committed. It's going through and doing an application, no pressure at all, but it's an application that would do kind of a self-evaluation of the board, and it'll get us back into the visioning and missioning that we started, and then kind of COVID has hit us and we moved away from and whatnot. I think Ms. Haven brings up some really good points about the collaboration, and that is the culture that we want to have. And I see it. I see a glass that's more than half full. So it has to do with all the wonderful things and whatnot. But it's really, now that the excuse of COVID is behind us, watching and seeing everything's just really refreshing. And so with that, make sure that you tell Miss Kimberly if you're going to be able to attend in Chicago, because we need to get our reservations soon. That's all I have.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Moving on to our items for action. The first one is the approval of the HMH intro math curriculum.
Yeah, and Alyssa can answer any questions or concerns, but she went through a process with the kindergarten through 8th grade math teachers, and the recommendation is to improve the HMH Into Math series. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, if you have any questions, like I said, I think a lot of it was, hopefully you could see the process we went through and how seriously the committee took this and really wanted to do what's best for our kids.
Questions, comments, concerns? Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the HMS Info Math curriculum? I said intro before, so the old glasses help a lot, I had to.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
2 seconds, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect. Carries unanimously. Next item for action is our approval to extend the terms of the Miss Vic property casualty pool.
This is a yearly action item, and every year we extend for 3 years with the understanding that we could go out to bid after 1 year. We're not locked into the 3 years, but we'd have to notify them before December, and quite honestly, we'd also have to go out to bid before December in order to change that. So my recommendation is that we stay with the Ms. Vic property casualty pool.
A little inside information, we had a committee, Scott, myself, Mr. Grody,
Oh,
and
yeah, that was about a year ago.
yeah, we did look at this pretty extensively, and we did send out their bids, and I think consensus was pretty clear that Ms. Vick was our way, so I don't, nothing that I think has changed since that time, so.
Yeah.
But this has been looked at pretty heavily, so just want everybody to know that. Would anybody like to make, all right, any discussion? I'm sorry. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve to extend the term of the Ms. Vick property casualty pool?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Scott. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Tyson, second. Roll call, please.
Tammy Hines?
Yes.
Andrea Corey?
Yes.
Greg Meyer?
Yes.
Scott Middlecamp?
Aye.
Lisa Schumacher? Yes. Tyson Search?
Yes.
All right. Okay, motion passed unanimously. And seeing we did that, now it's time to appoint our Ms. Vick Property and Casualty Pool Board members.
And the administration would recommend that we continue the superintendent, Chris Grody, is the Ms. Vick Property Casualty Pool Board member representing Columbia CUSD4.
I would recommend that we also add Alyssa
Alyssa Smith.
Smith as the alternate.
Great answer. All right. Any discussion? You good with that, Alyssa?
Sure.
We put you on the spot. I know
Sounds
the
good.
feeling. Maybe like to make a motion to approve Mr. Grody for our Ms. Vick Pool Board member and Alyssa as our alternate.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Andrea. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Lisa seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next item is the approval to extend the terms of the Ms. Vick Employee Benefits Pool.
Yeah, the Missouri, Ms. Vick,
Mississippi Valley.
Mississippi Valley Insurance Consortium, that's what it is, thank you.
You're on
They
the
do.
board, you should know that.
Yeah. Us educators and our acronyms, it gets confusing. Anyway, but Ms. Vick does our employee benefits as well. We do both our property casualty and our employees. Staying with them on one side, the recommendation is to stay with them with the employees. That's the one that we really looked at, and any cost savings wouldn't be guaranteed over long terms, and really, when you change people's employee health benefits, you want to see a substantial savings.
Yep.
We've had very minimal increases in our insurance coming from other districts where we've seen larger ones. I'd say we stay with Ms. Vick.
There discussions, comments? Would anybody like to make a motion to extend the term of the Ms. Vick Employee Benefit Pool?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Scott. For your second?
I'll second.
Tammy seconds. Roll call, please.
Andrea Corey?
Yes.
Greg Meyer?
Yes.
Scott Middlecamp?
Aye.
Lisa Schumacher? Yes. Tyson Search? Tammy Hines?
Yes.
Motion carries. And we're down to the point a Ms. Vick Employee Benefits Pool Board member.
And
Same.
again, the recommendation would be for the superintendent, Chris Grody, to be the board member with Alyssa Smith, assistant superintendent, as the alternate.
That too.
That, yeah, alternate is the term.
Discussion, comments, questions? Anybody like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Andrea. For a second?
I'll second.
Lisa seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect. Our next item is to establish a public hearing date and time to attend the 2021-2022 school budget.
Yeah, and what we've normally done is had it at the regularly scheduled board meeting the next month. However, upon looking at it, a budget needs to be on display for 30 days. Counting today and counting the June 16th, which is the regularly scheduled board meeting, that's 29 days. So we can either have the board meeting on Friday, we could have the board meeting on the 16th and then have a special board meeting on Friday, or we can move it all to next week, Thursday, which would be the fourth Thursday. This is why when you do the original budget, we always have that 1 month off. With the amended budget, I don't know why we missed it, but I apologize. Last year, we had our May meeting on a Wednesday to give us that extra day, so. Anyway, so what is the flavor of the board? We need to change our board meeting next month, or we can keep the board meeting and have a special board meeting for the hearing.
Understand also, you're gonna be
I'm out next week, the week after.
the week after.
Oh, you're out the week of the 20th?
Yes.
And Kim also, yes.
Well,
Any-
that kind of sums up what we're not doing. Not having it the week later, right? So.
Well, we could also.
I mean, we can do the budget hearing a week later if we wanted to.
That's what I was kind of thinking. We proceed with our board members scheduled, and then we
Yeah.
have a special board meeting. I think we could muddle through. I know we could have it without Chris. Kimberly maybe, but I think we could handle
So
that.
the hearing and the budget would be on the fourth Thursday? Is that what we're
The
thinking?
23rd of June,
I believe so.
and our regular scheduled board meetings on the 16th.
We could do that.
That way we keep everything moving smoothly and.
So special board meeting June
Or 23rd,
23rd.
So the recommendation would be to have the,
board hearing.
the public hearing and
budget
the
hearing.
budget hearing for the amended budget on June 23rd at 7 PM.
Yep.
And then followed by,
Not followed by anything, it'd just be the.
We
that-
had the
that hearing.
regularly scheduled board meeting the week before.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say we move it all, but without Chris.
Right, exactly.
And Kim gone.
do we have any other ideas? Everybody good with that one? All right.
You need to vote on
So-
that budget hearing then, so that we can
Okay.
have it posted.
Would anybody like to make a motion to conduct a budget hearing on June 23rd?
7 PM.
Tyson?
7 p.m.
At 7 PM, thank you.
Yep.
All right, we have a motion from Tyson.
I'll second that.
Scott second. And roll call, please.
Greg Meyer?
Yes.
Scott Middleton?
Aye.
Lisa Schumacher?
Yes.
Tyson Search? Tammy Hines?
Yes.
Andrea Corey?
Yes.
Perfect. That works out. We will miss you guys, though, I just wanted to know. Won't be the same without you. All right, next item is the approval for the first reading of Press Issue 109.
Yeah, and the way that this works is that these press issues come from the Illinois Association of School Boards. They have a committee of school district leadership and lawyers that kind of put together the policies and whatnot, and then they send them out to all the schools in Illinois. We approve the first reading, and then between the first reading and the second reading, before they're adopted, we take questions, concerns, or any issues that are brought up. I say that because with this first reading, I got an email from our CESPA, which is the Non-Certified Education Association, and they were wondering about policy specifically 580, which is court duty. And it talks about how they will reimburse for jury duty licensed employees, and our paraprofessionals are wondering, what does that mean? And one of the questions in that policy, if you look at it, it needs to know, are we going to treat our ESP employees, our aides, and our non-certified people the same way we treat our certified? I would think that, from my experience here, we have, and we will. But those are some of the things that get brought up when you look at these policies. And so I say that we approve these with the knowledge that, those are the things that we will change and make modifications to when we finally approve it next month.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
This will be at the board meeting next month.
Yes, ma'am. So what we're doing is we're approving the first reading, and then between now and next month, everybody's got a month to really dive into these policies and look at them. Scott Middlecamp and Adam Hempkin are the two board members that sit on the subcommittee that review them and go over the details. But really what happens is Alyssa and I will review them, and we'll kind of answer the questions, and we'll touch base with Scott and
Yeah.
Adam and make sure we're on the same page. But if you get anybody contacting you regarding any of the policies, then forward them on to Scott or Adam.
And then you'll have the recommendations at the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And just point of clarification, we can make our own rules, we can amend the rules, and they will survive. And what happens basically is our press is kept at the association level, and any changes, so when a new press policy comes down, our changes are incorporated into the new one, so we don't override them, so.
Yeah, we've done that in the past. Well, just, I guess the last go-round we did.
Yeah.
Right,
Some of those, so.
exactly. All right, perfect. Any further discussion? All right, with that, I entertain a motion to approve the first reading of press issue 109.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Scott. There's a second.
I'll second.
Lisa, second. Thank you.
You can just call it all in favor for this one.
Let's do roll call.
And then it's roll call for the second one. You can call it all
All right.
for now.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Any abstentions? Perfect. Thank you. All right. That concludes our action items. We're on to discussions. The facility study is first.
I will say that we've sent out, I got packets of information from the architects. Mr. Reeves sent them out to the departments. And so what they have are questions, and the questions include, how many classes you need for graduation, and it talks about programmatic stuff, and then there's actual pictures in there of various like kitchens for our home ec department, or shop departments, and science labs and things of that nature for the teachers to then give comments on, and as we start reviewing the high school needs assessment. So where we're at right now is that we've got surveys for every department, math, English, fine arts, at our high school for the teachers to look at and answer questions as to what they would want with a dream school. What it gives them the opportunity to be able to state also, what is it that our school right now is lacking that they would really like to see. And so that's going to be a information gathering, and hopefully in the summer we'll be able to share that with the board as far as where we are with that. But we are moving forward with the facilities. I've not heard anything regarding our discussions with the cities, and I know that we sent letters. We wrote a letter, the city wrote a letter talking about Route 3. Ultimately, we would love to see a third lane on Route 3 between Bottom Avenue all the way up to Sandbank. Because of the stuff that's going at 11th South, really a third lane there and all the way to Sandbank would make a lot of sense. A turn in and a right in, right out of the high school parking lot off of 3 would also be something that we're pining for. We believe that would help the transportation at that location enough that expanding the school, because we're at the point where we're probably going to need to expand that school. So
Would that be a stoplight in between the middle school and McDonald's?
no. So what it would be is that you could only go right in, so it would not be a stoplight. It would just be a pull in and a pull out. Kind of like if on Route 3 there's one
At Main Street, coming off of Main Street and staying in the right lane.
Yeah, but there's a light there.
Yeah, I know there's a light, but. the light
Yeah.
sucks.
I'm thinking of down in Waterloo on
But it's
Route
always-
3.
It's always great
There's a
when you turn right.
there's a right in, right out just past by a gas station in Waterloo on Route 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Gateway FS, thank
Yeah.
you. Has a right in, right out, which is what we'd be looking at, where there's no light, but it pulls in and out. That's the example we're looking at when IDOT doesn't really like right in, right outs, but there is one, so it's possible. And for our school safety, I think that's important, so. But those are the two issues that we're moving forward on. It's not going at the speed I would like, but it is moving forward.
Excellent. All right, thank you for that. Our next item is individual board member comments. Does anybody have anything this evening?
I attended the middle school, the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade choir concert last week. I do want to give a shout out to Sarah McGinty. She did a great job with the students, even though they had technical difficulties. But she got through it, and it was a very good concert. And I did speak to her at the retirement thing yesterday. So.
Excellent.
And she did say that it would be something that could get accomplished over the summer, changing out the boards, I guess it is.
It's, yeah, what has happened is we've have, when they do the plays or a lot of the concerts, people come with their own soundboard. And so when we did the upgrades at the middle school, we need to just purchase a soundboard.
Well,
And then what'll happen
it
is.
goes above the soundboard. There's actual issues.
Okay.
She
I
thinks
mean,
there's
middle
like,
school is, you know,
It's getting
probably
old.
needing some updates.
Technology's changed a lot
Yep.
since.
well, she said it might be like the wiring in the ceilings that needs to be replaced and things like that, so it could be a big project that we might want to look at sooner than later.
Maybe somebody will put that on their wish list, their dream list.
We had some work done on it with, so I'll reach out to Iron Man Studios, because they did some work on it. One of their fathers is a middle school. And so we had some work done on it, so I'll reach out and we'll find out what didn't get done and get that fixed.
Perfect. Anyone else? All right. Board President's prerogative. Last month, I kind of had a little speech or little education session on why the board can't make, or it's not appropriate for the board to make comments on public or react to public comments. Again, we're a body. Our individual opinions don't really matter. It's only as a group that we can take action and do things. This month, I'd like to kind of expand on that a little bit and explain how that we have to conduct the business of the district. So most of our discussions, in fact, almost all our discussions have to be in public. So we can't just get together and have these conversations and come up with secret evil plans and do things like that. Everything we have to do and has to be out in the open. In fact, when I became president, I added the section you guys saw with individual board member comments, because we need a place where we can bring things up that aren't on the agenda or on not everybody's mind and really share and collaborate. So everything we do has to be in public. If more than 2 board members are present, we can't discuss school business whatsoever. Now, we can all get together and have dinner or whatever, but school business is off limits when it does that way. We have a lot to do with our due diligence. I mean, we're running a $24 million organization here, and it does take a lot of due diligence to do our job and perform our duties correctly. That's why one thing we do is, if you notice, a lot of the comments, we have a committee for this or a committee of that. We take a couple board members, we bring in outside people. We try to get together and spend the time to really dig into issues and make sure that we come up with the right decision. The matter or the business of the board is absolutely everybody's business in this community. However, as a $24 million company, organization, whatever you want to call it, we also have people, and these people are employees. As much as everybody has a right to know the district's business, they don't have the right, and these people have the right to privacy. So we respect people's privacy, and that's why we're unable to comment on certain things. These things are handled in executive session, just like individual students, employees, legal matters. They're kept confidential because of the sensitive nature of the issue. I love transparency. I would like to sit here and tell you every reason for every decision we ever make, but it's just not possible, and I'm sorry for that. Where else was I going with that? So anyway, like I said, I know we have some controversial decisions that we have to make. I know they're not popular. We do listen. I think one of the strengths of this board is we do listen to the community. I get stopped a lot at dinner, the grocery store, pulling up my gas, whatever, and I have a lot of conversations with people. I listen to all points of view. And I appreciate Amber coming out and speaking tonight. That really means a lot. And I'll take you up on that invitation. I'll go to the middle school and spend a day with you guys. So careful what you wish for. I'll do it. But yeah, there's no one here that is against any teacher or anything else. We want the best for the district, plain and simple. And unfortunately, when we do have decisions to make, we're not going to make everybody happy, and we understand that. We're doing the best we can. Nobody up here is paid. There's a lot of mechanisms in place that we can't make money off our decisions. We can't, our board policies are very strict, and everybody abides by them. So there's very nice arrangements already set up to ensure that we do the right thing. We absolutely support the teachers. We appreciate what you guys do. I have a lot of admiration and I honestly, I don't think I could do the job. So I take my hats off to all the teachers, and we very much want to support the teachers, the administration, and the entire district, and that's why we're here. But you're right, there's been a rift, and I would like nothing more than to find a way to bridge that and get everybody together, because we're on the same page, we're on the same team, and we all want to have the same goals. So anyway, my little soapbox on that. So, but again, I appreciate you coming, Amber, and speaking. It was an excellent speech. I appreciate that. One other thing too is they brought up the middle school play, which I understand we had buckets due to a leaky roof.
Back when
So-
we had the play, so, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So again, another committee, a couple board members, we got together and we're looking at things and a resolution for the roof. So as you know, we have the facilities study coming up, so we're anticipating an expense there. We'd like to address this roof issue sooner than later. There's no reason that a school like this is going to have a leaky roof, so we got to find the best way to do it. We've met with some contractors, and we're going to send it out for some bids for basically, is it a rehabilitation? Is that what you call
It'd be a
it?
resurfacing, yeah.
A resurfacing instead of replacing the roof.
And as long as the insulation's dry enough, you can, every 20 years, you can resurface a roof.
Correct. Which would save a ton of money for the district and accomplish our goals. So we're looking at that. We're going to get some bids. Again, I just want to be upfront with everybody and let you know what's going on kind of behind the scenes that we can. And that is pretty much it for me. So I appreciate everybody indulging me for that.
And so we would be going into executive session.
Yep. And then our last item is we will be going into executive session for the purposes of appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. And to discuss student disciplinary cases pursuant to 5 ILSC 120/2C9. There will be no action out of the executive session. Everybody's welcome to return when we do for adjournment. Probably be very uneventful, but you're always welcome to join us. So with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session.
Excuse me.
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Scott. Have a motion, second?
Second.
Lisa, second. Roll call, please.
Tammy Hines?
Yes.
Andrea Corey?
Yes.
Craig Meyer?
Yes.
Scott Middlecamp?
Aye.
Lisa Schumacher?
Yes.
Tyson Search?
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned into executive session. Thank you. We are back in regular session. We have no action items as a result of our executive session, and with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Scott, thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Lisa, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That concludes our meeting this evening. Thank you very much.